Hey everybody, welcome to Get Busy Watching! I'm your host, Honest Dan. Let's talk movies. Welcome to my rapid fire romance and comedy edition. Let's get started. Two Korean childhood sweethearts get separated. The girl moves to North America and are reunited in two different stages of their adult lives. It's good. There's a beautiful, bittersweet poetry to it that I find hard not to love. But I do have my issues with it. About the only thing I didn't completely agree with was Nora's husband, Arthur, and his constant paranoia that Hae-sung was going to steal her away. I know any husband would naturally feel that way, but that he's unnecessarily open about it was an annoyance. And I don't like that Nora and Hae-sung took yet another 12-year break from talking to each other. One would think by the second break, they'd have both moved on from each other, being sick of two heartbreaks. Or if they did reunite, why do they still have this deep connection? Keep the friendship going throughout the 12 years and I would have understood better. Beyond that, taking the movie for what it presents, it's very tender in its approach on having past feelings for someone you once loved. The awkward yet lovable connection Nora and Hae-sung share is gripping and constantly makes you watch their body language, seeing if one's going to slip and say the wrong thing, but never truly do. The acting and directing are obviously top-notch, and by the end of it, it's very satisfying and makes you think about it. Maybe I've just been exposed to too many subpar blockbusters lately, but I can see myself forgetting about this little gem. Is it worth forgetting? Absolutely not. It is definitely worth seeing and I highly recommend it. My honest rating for Past Lives, a 4 out of 5.
와, 너다.
This Danish film is about this pretty boy who just wants a quiet life as a fisherman. But when it's discovered that he can sing, he's whisked away into stardom, which comes at a cost. And it's pretty mid. It kind of subverts a few narrative tropes that I was expecting, but it weirdly replaces them with tropes that I wasn't expecting and did not appreciate. Can't lie though, it does have its high marks. Thank God for star Christopher.
One word, like Madonna.
Or else this would have likely fallen apart. Dude can definitely sing. Even though his performance as Elliot isn't anything groundbreaking, his earnestness as a humble dude not looking for fame is endearing. I appreciate that his music management team isn't the cliched, put your face on everything, sell out your friends, I own you type of characters that you usually find in these types of stories. They genuinely want the best for Elliot and keep it real with him, for the most part. And that ending, the climactic song, damn, if you cry, I don't blame you. But where the movie falls apart and hurts the most is the clunky writing. Unless I missed something in the subtitles, why does music manager Suzanne seem so desperate to make Elliot a star? Why do these characters talk to each other like they know each other but never make it clear that they do? The romance between Elliot and Lily was rushed as all hell, and of course, it's predictable how this friendship with Oliver, an emotionally unstable loser, is gonna go. Man, you better love the main actor or else this will be painfully mediocre to watch. I don't really think it is, but for all the good that it does, it has an equal amount of not so good. So viewer beware, but if you're interested, it's on Netflix. My honest rating for A Beautiful Life, a 3 out of 5.
Hvis du ikke synger for nogen, så er det helt lige meget jo, så findes sangen ikke.
This Turkish rom-com is about this up-and-coming fashion designer discovering that her adolescent crush, whom she does not get along with, is the photographer of a celebrated photo and needs an interview with him to earn a promotion. Are Hallmark movies big in Turkey? Because if they're not, the similarities are uncanny and kind of annoying. The Hallmark beats are ever present. The two leads are impossibly beautiful. They start off hating each other, but through rushed and contrived reasoning, fall in love. But it's also a liar reveal story, and the lie is revealed at the end of the second act. They break up, mope and dope for most of the third act. Oh, but thank baby Jesus, they get back together just as the credits roll. It's as predictable gets. Right away, you'll know if this is for you or your mom. I won't lie, the Turkish setting is gorgeous. If nothing else, the cinematography kind of saves this. And Ayça Ayşen is a ridiculously gorgeous woman. I'm a sucker for midriffs, what do you want from me? But if a woman's beauty is the biggest positive that I can say about a movie, then I think there's something fundamentally wrong with said movie. There's really not much more to say about it. If you've seen a Hallmark movie, then you've seen this. If you've never seen a Hallmark movie, but you know what they're about, then you've seen this. Look, it's not bad per se, but it's the safest thing that cinema can offer. Watch it with your mom if you have to, but otherwise, hard pass. My honest rating for Make Me Believe, a weak 3 out of 5.
Senin yakınlarındayken her şeyin ayarı bozuluyor sanki. Benim de ayarlarım bozuluyor.
Jennifer Lawrence is down on her luck, but is promised a new car when the rich parents of their awkward son hire her to date him. What starts as a sleazy way to get her life in order might turn into something more. It's not bad. It's not especially funny, minus a couple of standout scenes, and it is problematic in some areas, but it does have its moments of tenderness. Despite being lumped into the genre of comedy, the humor doesn't really land. Mostly clumsy visual gags that would pass for a subpar children's movie for an audience that doesn't know any better. The only standout comedy moments are when J-Law and Andrew Feldman go skinny dipping in the ocean. Some drunk idiots try to steal their clothes and she beats the crap out of them while stark naked. By the way, I've seen Red Sparrow, I've seen her chi-chis before. Not a big deal. Probably because they're not that big. Heyo! But that scene was legit funny. And when she gets throat punched, but you can see that in the trailer. Where it holds its head above water is the committed performances. Lawrence isn't funny, but I like her character for the most part. While Feldman plays a prototypical socially awkward character, there are reasons explored as to why he is the way he is. Through dialogue, but it's more than what most give with similar concepts. And there are genuinely heartfelt and sweet scenes. It obviously ends the way you think it's gonna end. As a result, it's a slog to get to the ending. To its credit, the ending is a refreshing flip of the script, which I felt was more meaningful. The internet is calling this a feminist film, which I don't understand. The story is about a female character with a problem. She has flaws, insecurities, fears, and the entire arc of her story is acknowledging those problems and overcoming them. Like any movie worth its weight. You're not missing out if you don't want to see it, but if you are curious, it's not a terrible watch and you can check it out on Netflix. My honest rating for No Hard Feelings, a 3 out of 5.
Yes.
Yeah, that's correct.
Date him.
Date him hard.
I'll date his brains out.
Adam Devine and Nina Dobrev are about to get married. It turns out that her parents are bank thieves. Their former partner kidnaps Nina, and it's up to Adam and the in-laws to save her. Oh my god, who the hell thinks that Adam Devine is funny? This was painfully, ruthlessly not funny. The crux of this film is that Devine is expressive. He can scrunch his face to look Asian. He can scream high pitch, fumble his words when he's nervous, and a host of textbook comedy no-nos that litters every second of his performance in this thing. Funny faces equals funny. No, funny characters make characters funny. He plays a doofus and that's the joke. It gets stale very early on and ruthlessly never stops to the point where I was screaming at my TV for him to shut up. The inclusion of such great actors like Pierce Brosnan and Michael Rooker doesn't elevate the material in any way, but is rather given an affront to humor as they are fantastic actors but are just as annoying. The staple of a Happy Madison production. Take great actors and make them suck a fat one. There are no redeeming elements that I can muster. I really wanted to like the violence as it gets surprisingly bloody at times, but in a movie this bad, it's not worth giving it that positive. It makes so much sense that this was a Happy Madison production. I was squirming so much in my seat. Seeing the credits roll was one of the most glorious experiences ever. No, not recommended. Avoid like the plague. My honest rating for The Outlaws, a 1 out of 5.
Unlike other people do illegal things, and I'm cool with that too. And if we want to talk about that and just sort of get things off our chest.
Former stand-up comedian Bert is whisked back to Russia after 20 years when the mafia drags him around looking for a missing watch belonging to a prominent family, with Mark Hamill along for the ride. This feels like a Netflix comedy special. The comedy doesn't really hit until the later half of the movie, but when it hits, goddamn does it hit! I don't know what it is, but even with comedians that I do like, their early jokes never seem to land until their later material. That's how this movie feels. Not bad. No joke had me groaning or rolling my eyes. There was a setup and a punchline. Textbook comedy, I just didn't laugh. But I was with it simply because I love Mark Hamill. And I do have a new crush on Eva Bobic. Bobich? I have no idea how to pronounce her name. Playing their tough-as-nails captor who wants to inherit control of her family's gang, and is an absolute delight to watch. While the action scenes aren't anything to write home about, there are moments that had me in stitches. Combined with the great expressive reactions from Kreischer, whom I've never even heard of before this movie, really sold it for me. And by the climax, it was comedy gold until the very end. Yeah, it takes its time to get to where it needs to go. Yeah, it gets a little contrived. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy myself. If you're a fan of Bert Kreischer, Mark Hamill, or you just happen to like action comedies, I might recommend this one. My honest rating for The Machine, a 4 out of 5.
Take that, communist!
A writer's play is brought to life about a small town in the middle of nowhere where an alien appears and the response by the government. It's Wes Anderson. If you're familiar with the man's work, then you have a pretty good idea of what you're getting yourself into. I'm a fan, so of course, I really dug this. I've long since given up trying to understand the inner workings of Wes's mind. He makes weird movies with star-studded casts who give bizarre performances. Whatever underlying messages and themes he's putting out there are going way over my head, and I can't tell you how much I don't care. The setting around the town of Asteroid City is obviously cheap, being a theater production and all, but the 50s style, the vibrant colors, it's like cotton candy for the eyes. Wes's signature direction to make everyone's acting feel as bonkers as possible, while also perfectly capturing the feel of theater performances by having the actors memorize long dialogue and say them in that iconic monotone, is wonderful to watch. What killed me especially was the little bouts of kooky emotional outbursts that feel like they're supposed to signify Wes's interpretation of over-the-top acting, and the random bits of a police chase and shootout appeasing anyone in his audience getting too bored and proclaiming that there's no action in his flick had me giggling like a kid.
There wasn't anybody killed in the whole thing.
This might be one of my favorites that Wes Anderson has ever done, which is saying a lot because the man makes a damn good movie. If you are a fan and you haven't seen this, hell yeah, I recommend this. What are you doing watching me for? Go see Asteroid City! My honest rating for Asteroid City, a 5 out of 5.
Asteroid City does not exist. It is an imaginary drama created expressly for this broadcast.
Two childhood best friends are off to China to close a business deal, but can't move forward with it until one of them finds her biological mother. On that journey, hijinks ensues. It's not my cup of tea, just a bunch of Asian humor that not once made me laugh and seemed pretty bottom of the barrel to me. One-note humor with one weirdly surprisingly good element. Most of the cast is unlikable, with the notable exception of Audrey, played by Ashley Park, where there wasn't a moment that I didn't want to like her. She is a fine actor and has great expressions, but the writing doesn't give her anything funny to say. The real pain comes from the supporting cast. The raunchy loser stereotype, which annoys me. She's obsessed with making a playground for children out of genitals and claims it's because we need to have a conversation about body positivity. Ugh. The other raunchy one, lying to her fiance about being a virgin and religious. The over-the-top weirdo who says random crap, screams a lot, and is unnaturally socially awkward. Seriously, who thinks this crap is funny? The only thing that surprised me was how great the adoption reunification element worked out. That stuff hit home for me because I'm adopted too, and never met my biological mother. It's out of place in this entirely unfunny comedy, but the execution is weirdly great. I can't even call it boring per se because enough happens that it's kind of watchable. But if you're not laughing during this comedy movie, then that's a failure to me. I don't like it, I don't recommend it, hard pass. My honest rating for Joyride, a weak 3 out of 5.
Bag full of other plastic bags.
Don't act like you know my family. You don't know what we've been through. Look at that eye. Look at me. Look at me.
Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Stay safe and healthy out there. Hope to see you soon.